cells anyway. Since the 60s, we've been hearing about them. But fuel cell cars are actually starting to become a reality. Joining me right now from UC Davis's Institute of Transportation Studies, John Tillman. John, it's great to have you.
Yeah,
and you brought along a Toyota that is powered by hydrogen. That's pretty amazing. Now, this is not something you can buy today. It won't be something you can buy for some time. In fact, there's only one in the whole country right now.
There's actually two in the whole country right now.
Okay. And you are one of the lucky guys that gets to drive these things. This is a fuel cell vehicle. First of all, tell me what a fuel cell is.
A fuel cell is a device that converts hydrogen, in this case, through an electrochemical process into electricity. The only byproduct it has is pure water.
And when you say electrical chemical process, you're not talking about burning. It's not actually burning the hydrogen.
No combustion involved at all with a fuel cell.
How does it work exactly?
Well, what a fuel cell does is you take the hydrogen into the anode or negative side. You it disassociates the hydrogen itself into two components: hydrogen ions and electrons. The hydrogen ions pass through the membrane selectively, and the electrons also pass through, but through another path. They recombine on the other side with oxygen to produce water.
H2O, coming out the other side. And the byproduct of that is heat and energy.
Yes.
Electricity, in effect.
Heat, energy, and water.
And water, of course, is the other byproduct. So this is the car. By the way, where does the hydrogen come from that you're going to be using in this thing?
Well, we use this vehicle, the Toyota FCHV, uses pure hydrogen.
Pure hydrogen, the chemical?
Yes.
Is that always the case?
In this vehicle, yes, and in a lot of the vehicles that are coming out.
Does it have to always be pure hydrogen, or it can be something else?
Well, I can't say what every manufacturer is doing, but this particular one is pure hydrogen.
And where's the hydrogen made from? Where does it come from? I mean, a lot of times the complaints about these kinds of vehicles is, well, you're just transferring the pollution upstream to some big plant somewhere, which is cranking out hydrogen and smoke into the air. Is that the case? Is it a more efficient process? All the way?
Well, the process overall is more efficient. Yeah. Where the hydrogen is presently coming from is basically CNG, or natural gas, through steam reformation. There are other paths that you could actually get the hydrogen from.
Right.
But at this point, CNG, or natural gas, is the most likely way that you're probably getting the hydrogen.
So the oil companies aren't out of the loop yet?
No.
In fact, they're very much part of the loop. Let's take a look at the technology in this car. It's obviously very different. No cylinders, no spark plugs. What is this big thing, the FCHV?
This is the power control unit. This controls the electrical output and to the whole system.
So it's like the motherboard of the car?
Essentially,
kind of the brains.
That, yes.
Yeah, all right. And you can see all the electrical connectors going into it and so forth. Underneath, this silver box down here, that's the fuel cell.
That's the fuel cell.
So we can't really get into it to see, but hydrogen's coming in one end, water coming out the other end, and electricity going into is there an electric motor somewhere? Are there batteries? What exactly is?
Well, there is a battery storage system. That is why this is actually called a hybrid.
Right.
There is an electric motor beneath this. This is a sandwich: the power control unit, the fuel cell, and the electric motors beneath that.
Right. And then a little battery that's but not a huge battery, because it's generating electricity while it's going as well, right?
Yeah.
Let's go around here to see the fueling system. By the way, are there a lot of hydrogen gas stations around?
At the moment, no. We're building up that as we go.
That's one of the things that's going to keep this technology from taking off next year.
Infrastructure is something they're building.
Show me this. This is where it's still got the same old gas, but that's a little different. This looks like the nozzle you'd use on maybe CNG or something like that. It's a gas nozzle.
Similar but different. A little different.
What pressure are we talking about here?
It's about 5,000 psi.
That's pretty high?
That's a decent amount of pressure, yes.
And how much hydrogen is going to go in a full tank?
This one holds just a little over 3 kilograms.
Enough for how many miles?
Range of about 180 miles.
180 miles.
Yes.
That's another thing that they have to work on, is getting the ranges up, obviously.
When these vehicles come out in production, they will actually have probably a much greater range.
All right, let's get in the car. I want to show people the controls as well.
Okay.
Should I get in this side, and why don't you get in the driver's seat, and I'll get in the passenger seat? You want me to get on the other side? Yeah. Other side, Robin? Robin says get on the other side. All right. So don't get in, John. I'm going to get in.
Okay.
I want to get in. I want to drive.
You get in there.
First of all, people are going to notice that the steering wheel is on the wrong side. That's because this is Japanese, right?
Yes.
This is not always an attribute.
This is not your mother's Toyota.
of all hydrogen vehicles. Let's turn it on, and we can see a little bit of what's different. First of all, this is the panel. Can you see that here, Robin, pretty well? Show me. Where is the fuel gauge?
The fuel gauge on this vehicle is on the right side here.
Oh, I see the gas tank.
Pressure.
MPa.
Pressure.
What is that?
Megapascals.
Megapascals. So when the tank, right now it's almost full. When it's empty, you go down to 3 megapascals. That means you got to go to the station and pump it up.
Yes.
Okay. I noticed we have still a cooling here, hot and cold. Why is that?
The fuel cell has to be within a certain temperature range, and that actually is the cooling for the fuel cell itself.
So it's keeping it in an efficient range, but there is some heat generated by the process, by the chemical process there. What's the top speed on this?
96 miles per hour.
Well, that's pretty good, and that's governed, so it can go faster than that. Electric cars are known for a lot of torque. Electric engines really are peppy in that respect.
This has a decent amount of torque, comparable to V6 model of this version.
You ever burn rubber in this thing?
Not that I would tell anybody about.
Toyota's sitting right over there. This I've seen in all electric vehicles and all hybrid vehicles. Oh, I just touched it. Shoot. How do I...
Hit the blue button there.
Hit the blue button. All right, it's in Japanese. This is kind of showing you what's going on. We've got the fuel cell here generating power to the battery and to the motor and turning the wheels. So this kind of gives you an idea of what's going on in the car. How do you like it? Is it fun to drive?
It is fantastic. I mean, going down the road at 65 miles an hour, you can whisper to someone next to you.
It's quiet.
It's very quiet.
It's an electric car, basically. It's just that the way we're getting electricity is not from batteries, but it's generating its own through the fuel cell,
hydrogen, yes.
which is very kind of very different. I know President Bush has really made hydrogen fuel cell technology a priority. Is the hydrogen economy something that's imminent? How long?
Well, the infrastructure issues associated with making the hydrogen economy, that buzzword, actually come to being, they're working out those issues now. UC
Things
Davis,
like gas stations, hydrogen production,
yes.
all that stuff.
Those haven't been worked out, and the safety issues are things that are being presently worked on.
You feel pretty confident. This isn't the Hindenburg.
No, this is not. This is a very safe car. This car is as safe or safer than the combustion vehicles that are on the road today.
Yeah, people forget that gasoline is highly combustible, probably even as much as hydrogen, right?
More so.
More so.
Yes.
So really gasoline is more dangerous than hydrogen. Just because of the Hindenburg doesn't mean people should be all nervous. This is kind of interesting. You've got park, reverse, neutral drive, and what's B for?
B is basically a mode you put it into. It actually gives more regenerative braking for the system.
So as with other electric vehicles, when you put on the brakes, it actually spins the rotors the other way and adds power to the battery.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're going downhill, for instance, you put it in B, and you'd
have regenerative braking in that case.
Very cool stuff. UC Davis in the forefront in this particular kind of.
We're definitely one of the universities, research institutions in the forefront with it.
If people want to know more about it, they should go to your website.
Yes, they can.
Tell us what the URL is. Do you know?
Right now, it's its.ucdavis.edu,
okay.
And we are presently working on getting the fuel cell specific component of it, but that should be up very soon.
John, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
It's great. John Tillman is with the Institute for Transportation Studies at the University of California, Davis, and was very kind, along with Toyota, to bring along this fuel cell hybrid vehicle. Is this wild? You want to read more about this? You go to our website, techtv.com/call4help. I wish I could drive this thing off. Stick around. The Wild World Challenge is heading your way when Call for Help continues. Don't go away. This is nice. I like it. I'm very excited. I mean, I think this is going to be a great year.